My wife was cheating on me in our own house. Her shameless lover liked to swim in the pool while I was at work. So I put a little surprise in the water. The first message arrived at 11:42 a.m. I was halfway through a meeting. Fluorescent lights humming above us. Someone talking about quarterly projections. Numbers sliding across a screen. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I ignored it. Then it buzzed again. And again. 3 messages. I glanced down. A photo. My backyard. My pool. Sunlight shimmering across the water like nothing in the world had ever been wrong. And there he was. A man I had never seen before. Shirtless. Laughing. Standing at the edge of my pool. Another message followed. You should come home earlier sometimes. My chest tightened. Not panic. Not anger. Just a strange, hollow quiet spreading inside my ribs. Then the last photo loaded. Her! My wife. Sitting on the pool chair. Bare legs stretched out. Wine glass in hand. Watching him. The way someone watches something they belong to. I stared at the screen for a long time. Long enough for the meeting to end. Long enough for everyone to leave the room. Long enough for the world to feel slightly tilted. I didn't respond. I didn't call. I simply zoomed in on the photo. On the reflection in the water. Because reflections tell the truth people try to hide. And in that reflection, I could see her smiling. The kind of smile she hadn't given me in years. That was the moment I understood something very clearly. My marriage hadn't ended that day. It had ended long before the message arrived. I just hadn't been invited to the funeral. I didn't confront her that night. Or the next. People think betrayal explodes. It doesn't. It seeps. Quietly. Like water through a cracked foundation. That evening, she kissed my cheek when I walked in. Long day? Her voice was soft, familiar. Practiced. I looked at her the way a surgeon studies an X-ray, searching for fractures beneath the surface. Normal, I said. She nodded. Made dinner. Talked about groceries. A neighbor's dog. A show she wanted to watch. Her hands never shook. Her eyes never hesitated. Which meant one thing. This wasn't new. This was routine. Later that night, I stepped outside. The pool lights glowed pale blue beneath the surface. Still, perfect, untouched. Except it wasn't. Not really. Someone else had been here, walking barefoot across my patio, laughing in my water, breathing in the space that used to belong to us. I imagined him diving in, swimming lazy circles, while she watched, while my house kept their secret. The next morning, she waved goodbye as I left for work. I drove 3 blocks. Then I parked and waited. 20 minutes later, a black sedan rolled slowly down my street. It stopped in my driveway like it had every right in the world to be there. A man stepped out, same one from the photo. He stretched, looked around, then walked into my house, like he lived there. I sat in the car for another 10 minutes, not moving, just breathing, feeling something inside me rearranging itself. Not heartbreak, not rage, something colder, something patient. Because the truth about betrayal is simple. Once you see it clearly, you stop feeling and you start thinking. I didn't change my routine. That was important. Every morning I left at the same time. Every afternoon I returned at the same time. Predictability is comforting, especially for people who think they're getting away with something. Over the next week, I watched. Quietly, a camera above the garage, another inside the backyard light fixture, one beneath the pool umbrella. They arrived at 10:30 a.m. almost every day, like clockwork. She would open the back door. He would walk straight to the pool, like it was his. Shoes off, shirt off, dive, always the same. Clean arc, perfect splash. Then laughter. Always laughter. I watched it every night from my office. The two of them moving through my house like ghosts wearing someone else's life. One evening I noticed something else. He loved the water. Stayed in it for hours, floating, swimming, showing off. The pool had become their ritual, their stage, their private little world, and that gave me an idea. Not revenge. No, revenge is loud, messy, temporary. What I wanted was clarity. So I visited a pool supply store 3 towns over, bought something small, something harmless, but unforgettable. The kind of dye used to detect water leaks. Industrial strength, invisible at first, until disturbed. The man at the counter said it would spread fast, turn water dark within seconds, stain skin for days, I smiled politely. Paid in cash. And the next morning, before leaving for work, I poured it quietly into the deep end. The pool looked exactly the same. Clear, inviting, peaceful, perfect. Just waiting for him. I didn't watch the cameras live. Some things are better seen afterward. That evening I poured a drink, sat down, and pressed play. 10:28 a.m. The car arrived. 10:30. He stepped outside. Stretching. Confident. She followed him. Laughing. He walked straight to the pool. No hesitation. No suspicion. Why would there be? He thought this was his place, too. Then he dove. Clean arc. Perfect splash. For exactly 2 seconds, nothing happened. Then the water exploded into color. Black. Thick. Spreading through the pool like ink through paper. He shot up out of the water, shouting. His arms. His chest. His face. All stained. Dark streaks crawling across his skin. She screamed. Not in fear. In panic. The kind people feel when their perfect lie suddenly collapses in daylight. He stumbled out of the pool, looking down at himself. The dye clung to him like guilt. Permanent. Visible. Impossible to hide. That's when the gate opened. Because earlier that afternoon, I had invited guests, her parents, her sister, 2 neighbors, all standing quietly on the patio. Watching, no one spoke. The only sound was dripping water, and the slow realization spreading across her face. She turned, saw me standing by the door, holding a tablet, watching the replay. I said calmly, everyone deserved to see the pool party. Silence swallowed the backyard. Her lover stood frozen, black dye streaking down his legs. Her father stared at him like he was something stuck to the bottom of a shoe. My wife looked at me, finally, really looked, like she was seeing a stranger. How long? She whispered. A week, I said. Her voice cracked. You set this up? I tilted the tablet so she could see the footage. Every visit, every laugh, every dive, archived. Time-stamped, undeniable. You turned my house into a stage, I said quietly. I just invited an audience. Her lover tried to speak. Stopped, looked at the staring faces around him, then at the black water still rippling behind him. He understood something then. He hadn't been caught. He had been presented, displayed, like evidence. I handed the tablet to her father. He seems to enjoy swimming, I said. Thought you might want to meet him. No yelling followed. No dramatic accusations. Just silence, heavy, crushing. The kind of silence truth leaves behind when it finally walks into a room. I grabbed my keys, walked past them, past the pool, past the man still dripping in shame. And when she called my name, I didn't turn around. I sold the house 2 months later. The new owners loved the pool. Said it was the reason they bought the place. I didn't mention the cameras. Or the afternoon the water turned black. Some things belong to history. Not real estate listings. The divorce was quiet. Predictable. She tried to apologize once. A long message. Full of regret. Full of explanations. I deleted it halfway through. Because explanations are just stories people tell when the truth stops working. Sometimes I think about that moment. The dive. The splash. The spreading darkness. The instant when 2 people realized the lie they were living in had finally surfaced. Not violently, not dramatically, just visibly, like ink in clear water. And that's the thing about betrayal. People believe it disappears if no one sees it. But the truth is simpler. All it takes is the right drop in the right place. And eventually, everything shows.